The other day I was just sitting at home, I was scrolling reels because I was bored, and suddenly an ad pops up where an 18-year-old claims to have made than $1 million in revenue. I was actually initially surprised because an 18-year-old who's just finished his PU college, dude, what was I doing when I was in my PU? So the other day I was just sitting at home, I had nothing to do, so I was using my mobile, scrolling through Instagram, watching YouTube. And suddenly, a 20-year-old pops up in front of me. He posed in the best of cars. He had a BMW, he had a Porsche, he had an Audi, he had a Louis Vuitton belt, he had a really nice Gucci shoes. I was like, dude, how is this guy doing it? He's just 20 years old. I mean, when I was 20, I was just lazing around with my friends, going around, calling my dad and asking him every single time for even 1,000 rupees. But how are 20-year-olds these days doing it? Are they doing drugs? Are they selling illegal stuff? I mean, what are they doing to be making $1 million at 18 to 20 years old, right? There must be some crazy thing to it. Especially after COVID hit in, a lot of businesses started blooming on the online market, right? So today I'll be telling you how you can make innumerable amount of money, millions, billions, thousands, depending on your capacity, using just a phone and the internet as your marketplace. You guessed it right. Today we'll be talking about dropshipping, how much money investment is required, how much time is required, and what are the dropshipping models, what are the dropshipping channels in India, so that you sitting at your home using your mobile can make thousands of millions of dollars by just using the internet. Before I continue, I'd like to remove a few myths from your mind, right? There are people who think that you start a dropshipping business and you can make millions. It might have worked for some kid in the US or some kid in England, some kid in Australia, but it doesn't have to necessarily work in India. So first, remove the thought, remove the myth from your mind that you can make millions of dollars from dropshipping just when you start. But what is dropshipping? Dropshipping is a single vendor business model where a user can start a business using his mobile but doesn't necessarily have to have all the raw material, right? Well, before I begin, let me tell you what dropshipping is. Dropshipping is a single vendor e-commerce marketplace, an e-commerce business model where you don't have the stock, the product you're supplying. Whenever a customer comes to you and wants to buy a product listed on your website, you just call the supplier and tell him or her that you need so and so product. The supplier will ship the product to the customer, but you just facilitate the entire process. That is what dropshipping is. It literally means you take it from somewhere and drop it to another place. As simple as it sounds, right? But let me tell you one thing, the world runs on marketing. If a new cinema comes out in the market, in this time and date, it's very important to market the cinema. Just imagine, a KGF 2 without marketing wouldn't have become such a big success. An RRR wouldn't have become such a big success. They went all out, they went to the Hindi market, they went to small talk shows, they went to YouTube channels, they did a lot of amazing challenges, a hook step, they created amazing teasers, trailers, audio launch events, after which the cinema took off to an amazing start, to a blistering start. So dropshipping basically is dependent on how nicely you can market the product at your disposal. To begin with, let me reiterate, you just need a phone and a really good internet connection to start your dropshipping business. Just like every other business, you need to invest something. It might be either time or either money, or sometimes you need to invest both your time and money. Simple language, you buy from point A at price X, add your brokerage fee and sell it to place B at price Y, and the brokerage fee or the margin that you get from the entire transaction is the profits you make. Well, to be more precise, this term comes from the US and China, but before dropshipping even came to India, there was the same model which a lot of vendors, a lot of businessmen used to follow under the name reselling. Reselling business is basically done on social media. Just like I told you, you need a phone and an internet. Dropshipping business or dropshipping market, reselling business is done on social media channels. Just like I told you, you just need a phone and a really good internet connection. After the internet boom happened across the world, a lot of young kids started making millions by following dropshipping. So for dropshipping, you'll need social media channels like Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. You need to create your own website and you need to market your product on these websites so that your website and your e-commerce site, your social media sites gets the traction. And then reselling business is basically done on social media, right? Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. And in India, there are 50 plus lakh registered resellers. So I'll tell you how it works. Initially, you start a dropshipping website so that you can list all the products you have, or you can start a social media page and then you create a logo for it, create a really nice brand presence. You start, reaching out to your friends so that you get the initial following, and then you decide on what product you need to sell to your end user. And there is another theory that you can't pick any kind of a product out there, right? Because a dropshipping business is only profitable when you sell in large numbers, and you can sell in large numbers when there are large number of customers who want to buy the product. So before you decide on what product you want to sell on a dropshipping website or your social media pages, you need to do proper market research. For example, in the US, TikTok is very prominent. In India, there's no TikTok. So a lot of products sell because of the traction they get on social media. Suppose a very famous social media creator endorses a product, and then there are people who are waiting for that creator to endorse that product so that they can get those products drop shipped from China and then sell it to the customers in the US. So that doesn't work out in India because there's no TikTok. So you need to make sure what's trending, what the young people want. Only then you can start a very successful dropshipping business. So now you have created your website, you have created a page. After that, you ask your supplier for pictures and then post it on your social media site or your website, and then a customer places an order. Remember that the supplier has to ship the product to the end user and not you, which means you are at very low risk because you have not bought the entire stock and kept it at a place, and if there are no orders coming in, you don't have a loss. So a customer places an order through your website, you send the same order to a supplier. Say for example, there's a product priced at 500 rupees. You are charging the customer 750 rupees and placing the same order to the vendor or the supplier. The supplier then ships the product to the customer. Then what margin you have made in the entire transaction is the profit or the money you are making through your dropshipping business. But what's the catch? If it was so simple, everyone would have created a website or a social media page and then started the dropshipping. The main problem is marketing. You need to market your product properly. There are many channels on how you can market your product. It might be Facebook ads or Google ads, and this is exactly where you will need to spend your money. Just remember that while I started the video, I told you that you need to invest something here. It is either time, money, or both. So when it comes to money, you need to spend on Facebook ads and Google ads so that your page can reach more and more people, and then you can retarget them every time they hit or check out your channel. And there's something very important that comes into picture, is called retargeting. There are many times that a customer can check out your page but not buy the product. You'll need to promote the video again, you'll need to promote your page again so that the customer keeps coming back to your page and finally you make the sale. Well, building a website, creating a logo, creating a brand, that is all just 10% of the game. 90% of the game is in marketing. Just remember the example of KGF 2 and RRR which I gave you in the beginning. If they weren't marketed properly, then they wouldn't have made thousands of crores. So marketing your product is really very important, and 90% of the game stays in marketing. So now you have created a website, you have spent money for Facebook ads, Google ads, you have retargeted the same customer 3 to 4 times. What next? You will need to do email marketing again and again, because you just can't rely on one stream of marketing your product, that is Facebook ads and Google ads. So now there's something new called as WhatsApp marketing, and there are websites, platforms where you can integrate your WhatsApp marketing to a platform. There are platforms like Interact, and Interact is a unique platform where you can connect your WhatsApp, your existing customers, your future customers. They all can come there. You can have a proper catalog and then keep retargeting them as many number of times that you want. And basically these are the websites that a lot of businesses use to do WhatsApp marketing. Just open your WhatsApp. I'm sure you would have got 4 or 5 messages from random brands. So they use interfaces like Interact to do WhatsApp marketing. So make sure that you also have connected WhatsApp marketing to your e-commerce, your dropshipping business. Okay, how do you price your product? Just imagine a product is priced at 1000 rupees, right? You spend up to 250 rupees for its marketing. Obviously, you can't sell the product at 1300 rupees. You have to price it at least 1500 or 1700 to make a decent business, right? So I try to reiterate again, you have to choose a really good product for that. So ideas on products, you can check out a lot of YouTube channels. There are a lot of YouTubers who suggest on what products work and what don't, what has worked for them and what has not worked for them. Make sure you do proper research and analysis, because I've had friends who got into dropshipping, spent 5-6 lakhs and then they didn't make even a single penny. That's because they didn't research the market properly. Remember again, a US, a China is not in India. Understand the emotions of the people here, how you can market your product. Only then choose a product, or else at the end of the day, your dream of making millions will still be a dream. So do proper market research. Well, what are who are the big resellers or big wholesale suppliers in India from where you can get your products? Just as much as you've created a really good marketing channel, it's important to select a really good supplier, because a really good supplier will produce you really good quality products, and he will also ensure that he ships the product at the right time with proper packaging. So make sure you have a really good supplier. But if you're not sure on where you can check for your suppliers, where you can get your products from, I'll be suggesting you a few websites where you can find your supplier. Number one, Wholesale Doc. So this is a marketplace, this is a website where you can find really good suppliers. So they supply raw material, or they supply products which range from home decor, home appliances, fashion, etc, etc, etc. So you can get really good supplies from them, you can rely on them. The second one is Deodap. They also have products regarding electronic goods, they have products related to personal healthcare, all kinds of products. So make sure you check out these two suppliers, because most of the dropshipping businesses, most of the owners of businesses go for these wholesale sellers. So make sure you don't miss out on. There's a saying which goes like, before you jump into a river, first step into it and then check its depth. Well, river is a really big example, but if you want to get into a pond, first get into it, check the depth, and then you can go for a swim, right? That's exactly how you start a dropshipping business. First, make sure that you do proper research, build a website, build an e-commerce Instagram page, and then you test it out for a few times. Take at least 30 to 40 days before you jump right in. Get a product, it might be a shoe, it might be a doll, it might be clothing. Get the product, try to sell it to your friends and see how it works. Only then, if you're really confident that the product will fly, then jump into the bigger business. So to start with, you can start with an investment of 5 to 10,000. Start an Instagram page, because everyone out there is on Instagram, and then Instagram marketing shouldn't be neglected. Start your Instagram page, list your products, connect with the seller, invest 5 to 10k, and when you get 2 to 3 orders, place the same order to the supplier, get him to ship the product to the end user, and then see how it works. Then you can go for the big game. So initially, if you try to invest 10-15 lakhs and it doesn't work out, you'll come blame me that I gave you wrong guidance. So make sure you start small and then grow big. Many businesses think that the content creation game is only restricted to a few content creators, right? You start your own YouTube channel and start creating content out there about your product, right? Along with Instagram, start YouTube. Obviously, you can start making money out of AdSense, but that will give your product more reach. And whenever I search a product that I like, right? For example, I like a shoe, I want to buy it. I try to check out for sellers who sell that particular shoe at a lower price. And if I find a really good drop seller, I can probably connect to him or check his website and then buy the product. So make sure you have a YouTube channel of your own, so that you don't have to spend on external marketing. I'd like to reiterate that, you just can't go to an agency and get your marketing done. Some of you will have a question, bro, if I want to market my product or my service or my website, can I talk to an agency? Never do that, because an agency will not promise you any sales or any leads. It is you who has to do the ground research, do it for 30-40 days and then take the plunge. Any agency help is appreciated, but in the long run, it will not give you bigger results. Last but not the least, you need to do competition analysis, because without competition analysis, I'm sure your product will not fly. For example, you're starting out a coffee shop at a really posh area. You need to make sure of the competition around, right? That's how even dropshipping works. You need to see what are the competition in your niche. If you've picked shoes as your niche, make sure how many products out there or how many youngsters out there are selling shoes online. So try to pick a niche which is very less crowded and also which can bring you more sales at the end of the day. Let me give you two examples of companies that started out as in India. There are really big dropshipping companies like Bewakoof and Soul Store, but these companies didn't just stay as dropshippers. They converted into a startup. But how did they do that? Right? Bewakoof had a really nice business model where they had a lot of memes on their t-shirts, they had a lot of customized content on their t-shirts, and Soul Store made most of the Marvel collection. They had cartoons, they had characters on their t-shirts. That is how they could tap to a large market of India, which is the youth. And by research, it is also known that people or youngsters in the age of 18 to 25 consume Instagram to the most. So that's how these companies like Soul Store and Bewakoof started out as dropshippers. Now they have their own merchandise and they have a startup of their own. So you don't have to restrict yourself to only dropshipping. You can become a startup. I hope all of you become a startup at the end of the day. But make sure you start small and then grow big. That was it for today's video. I hope you found this informative. For more content, subscribe to Freedom App's English channel. I'm your host Akshaya. I'll be back soon with another video. Peace out.